All right, Mr. Taliaferro TV, how's everybody doing out there? Because I see this story starting to push the limits of music. The only thing music about this story is that it involves all musicians, people, fixtures in the game. Other than that, this story is starting to shift away towards music. So this probably be one of the last videos I do on it, because we're shifting away towards anything that's related to music outside of the people involved in it. This is personal, and it's starting to seem like there's some other stuff going on that I'd just rather not speak on. So to sum up a long story here, back in 2015, Lil Wayne's tour bus was shot at. Thank God Lil Wayne or no one on that tour bus was hit, but that is the reality of the situation. A guy by the name of Pee Wee Roscoe was convicted, and he was sentenced to 10 years behind bars for a shooting at this tour bus. The reason why Pee Wee Roscoe is relevant to this story is because he was Young Thug's former manager, all right? And he also had phones bought through Birdman, had constant communication with Birdman and Young Thug at the time of the shooting. As a matter of fact, I believe 6 to 7 calls at the time of the shooting were made to Young Thug that day. Back and forth, the two were exchanging communication the day of this shooting. All right, just to put your head back in that space, 2015 was the Rich Gang era. Remember when Young Thug and Rich Homie Quan were right with Birdman? They were doing a tour. They had the project together. They were on fire. The Milkman Reach, you got a print, but that whole era was popping then. Wayne and Birdman were probably as distant as they had ever been. All right, there was no communication, for what I was told, between Wayne and Birdman in 2015. Young Thug was, a lot of people started to call him the next Lil Wayne. He made the Barter 6, all that. So that's where we're at in 2015. Again, Pee Wee Roscoe sentenced to 10 years behind bars for the shooting at Wayne's tour bus, Young Thug's former manager. That didn't look good. Now, this is the next layer. The guy goes by the name of Alvin Lewis, all right? He was the driver of the tour bus, and it was his tour bus that Wayne was in the night of that shooting. Well, Alvin Lewis is looking up like, yo, I want some money in all this. We got the guy who shot at my tour bus. Somebody should pay for ruining my tour bus, sending some bullets through my tour bus. Now, with Alvin Lewis and his lawyer, throughout their investigation, and as they find out more details, they crossed over some information that involves Pee Wee Roscoe and Birdman and Young Thug. I already mentioned to you the fact that there were calls made between Young Thug and Pee Wee Roscoe the night of the shooting. Most important detail / evidence that has been found through Alvin Lewis and his lawyer is the fact that there was a call made between Birdman and Pee Wee Roscoe from behind bars. In the midst of that phone call, Birdman flatfoot said, "Time for you to come out here and get your money. You did everything you could do, boss." Now, to be fair to Birdman, he has come out and made a statement and said that had nothing to do with that Wayne tour bus shooting. And Wayne even spoke on it when he was doing his interviews, the few he did for Carter 5, and said he didn't believe Birdman had anything to do with his shooting. It just looks really bad, all right? It just looks super, super bad. The reason why Alvin Lewis wants to use Young Thug's calls to Pee Wee Roscoe and the Birdman call is obviously, I'm sure Pee Wee Roscoe doesn't have the financial means that a Young Thug or Birdman have, so he's not even trying to get into the conviction side of things. He's trying to get his money, and he's looking at, yo, if I could tie this shooting back to Young Thug and Birdman, I can get more money for somebody shooting at my tour bus. That's what I'm all about it for, my money. All right, now this is where we reached a stalemate with Alvin Lewis, his case, and the judge, and this is the new update that we have today. In the last few days, the judge has put this entire case on hold for his or her own reasons. I'm sorry, I don't know if the judge is a man or a woman, but the judge has put the case on hold. All right. Now, with that, Birdman and Young Thug have tried to capitalize on this opportunity with the case being on hold. They're thinking, we don't want Alvin Lewis talking to media and spreading this story out. So they have requested for an emergency motion to put a ban on Alvin Lewis and his lawyer from speaking about this case to anyone, including the media. Now, here's where it gets kind of subjective. I don't know why Young Thug and Birdman specifically want Alvin Lewis and his lawyer to shut up about this case. Maybe they just don't want that out in the atmosphere if it's false information about claims that they tried to shoot and kill Young Thug, right? Or maybe it's something else that they're trying to hide. I have absolutely no idea why Birdman and Young Thug want this just want all this to go under wraps and to remove their names from this case in totality, but they do. So that is the new fight that is on their hands. The judge has thus far not made a decision on that emergency motion from Young Thug and Birdman. The judge right now is still allowing Pee Wee Roscoe to be disposed from behind bars, but everything else will be on hold until the judge gives the green light to either move forward with the case and then move forward with Birdman and Young Thug, or not move with Birdman and Young Thug's part in this very, very messy situation. A lot of moving parts. Looks like some gloves are being taken off that maybe could show some other stuff. And a can of worms that I'm not sure if all parties want open. If I were Birdman and Young Thug, I don't know what they did or didn't do, but I know these two guys make a lot of money. All right. I would throw Alvin Lewis some bread outside of the court and end this now. That seems like the most reasonable way, to not put this in the court hands and not let this judge have to bring in more evidence and search for more phone calls and phone records and all that. I think the most feasible approach to this that hurts as least many people as possible is for Birdman and Thugger Thugger to give this Alvin Lewis guy, he wants money for his tour bus and he ain't stopping. That's probably hurt his business in totality. You just can't go buy multiple tour buses. Tour buses are super expensive. To stop this situation dead in its tracks, I think the best way is to, let's just throw this dude some bread on the table and call it a day. Thank y'all so much for the time, love, and support. I do not take it for granted. If you have not done so, follow me on Instagram at Mr. Taliaferro TV. Hip hop news. You want to personally follow me, you can always follow me at Mr. Taliaferro. But for the hip hop news and everything else, y'all hit me on Mr. Taliaferro TV on the gram. Giveaways coming soon. Thank y'all so much for that love, support. I don't take it for granted by any means. I'm out. I came from nothing, but I want everything God has for me. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I still represent the culture.
All the kids, they are now tuned in.
Yo, we locked in right now, Mr.
Taliaferro.
Mr. Taliaferro.
Mr. Taliaferro.
Mr. Taliaferro.
Shout out to Mr. Taliaferro.
You're watching Mr. Taliaferro TV.
Mr. Taliaferro TV. Here with the triple B's, you can't do nothing but win.